Here we go then, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first instalment of Tales from the Bath. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's get a little bit amusing and entertaining. So I'm in a red hot bath. We've all heard that one thing that's good for getting rid of this virus is a bit of heat. I'm quite famous for my, somebody coined the phrase years ago, boiling the bag. You can figure out where the bag is. Boiling the bag baths. It didn't quite work because I've got two amazing healthy little children. Super boys, which are my reason for being here. So I'm going to read to you some stuff from the Functional Sport Nutrition publication, was out by, as was the Functional Sports Nutrition Academy, which is something I myself lectured on along with Peter and Ian and Amara and others. So it's about CBD oil, and how it might be useful, applicable and helpful in the current situation. So there's a couple of companies that I use, but this is the latest one. Savant Distribution, who distribute Udo's oil and probiotics and other popular products, make a massive range of CBD, very high quality. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's GMP certified, low THC, it's that hot, THC, and this is a 15% in the raw hemp oil. They do super low strength THCs, they do lower strength products, and they really are high quality brands. The other brand that I use and have used for a couple of years, both myself and clients, is Improve Me, based up in Scotland. They do a range of all sorts as well, including creams and all sorts. I almost stood up there to grab the mouthwash that would not have necessarily been great for everybody on a Sunday morning. So the company there, this company, as I said, is Pharma Hemp, distributed by Savant. They do a mouthwash, all natural, with CBD in there. So what could we use it for? I'm going to be reading you an article not written by me, I have no connection whatsoever, by Dr. Keith Aqua, who is the Chief Medical Officer at Marhol Labs, 25 years in the industry, a certified clinician and responsible for the company's clinical trial program to advance research on CBD applications and the potential effects and benefits. And he's got a load of other credibility. So I'm going to read you some stuff. And if you're sitting and bored, then as many of us are, maybe you'll find this a bit helpful. So it has wide-ranging benefits, and it is referenced. Many of these points are referenced. So what I can do is maybe take a picture of the references afterwards. And for those of you that like a bit of research and a paper trail as I do, I like to read the papers myself, not just the abstracts. Look at the methodology, look at the reliability, accuracy of the study, if there's any bias, the number of subjects, i.e. people involved, etc. who the sponsors were. So make sure it's credible, anything that you're quoting and putting out there. It's something that I do a lot, so excuse the frazzled look this morning, but as you can see I'm sweating like crazy. So, cannabis soil. Humans, along with many animals, have a complex signalling system which is comprised of endogenous cannabinoids, receptors and enzymes which serve to regulate functions in the body such as sleep, mood, appetite and memory. Cannabinoid receptors are found throughout the body, naturally within us, we know we have them. There are ways of measuring effects of cannabinoids, by the way, in the brain with DNA testing. There's an amazing test available called DNA Mind through Nordic Labs. I'm steaming up Nordic Labs in Copenhagen, looking at markers for obsessive type behaviour, addictive behaviour, mood, including susceptibility. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but susceptibility to anxiety, depression, bipolar, looking at issues that could be for some around psychosis with high levels of cannabis use. And degenerative diseases is the other thing. Risk factors, susceptibility, potential for, doesn't mean you have them. It's very important when you're looking at DNA testing. It's not what's happening, it's what might happen. Just you have a higher chance potentially, if that makes sense. So, cannabinoid, that word's going to come up a lot, isn't it? Receptors are found throughout the body, including the central and peripheral nervous systems, immune system, and multiple organ systems, including the skin, the liver, the muscles, and the bone. Phytocannabinoids in plants produced by the cannabis plant are similar in molecular structure and mimic endocannabinoids within us by binding to cannabinoid receptors, which I've said we have. Cannabinoid receptors are often the targets of other drugs used to treat depression, anxiety and pain. When bound to CBD, cannabinoid receptors affect serotonin, dopamine and opioid receptors. Very important for mood stabilisation, which is going to be vital now. Many people may end up, sadly, on antidepressants. Please look at other routes first. Meditation, speaking to friends, getting exercise, good nutrition. Do what you can to enhance your mood state and positivity of such. Please, please. If I can help with that, just give me a shout, okay? Thus behaving as an effective multi-target molecule reference. Due to the nature of the molecular structure and the ability to act upon the endocannabinoid system, CBD can have an anti-inflammatory effect, antioxidant effect, and neuroprotective properties to stop degeneration. Reference. An antioxidant property of CBD is demonstrated in individuals who binge drink. I do think this is going to be a problem. That's not going to be the answer. You're sitting around bored. I get it, watching films and just drinking through the night, but please, that will suppress and lower your immune system. So by all means, enjoy a drink to unwind, especially if you are confined and isolated with your family, make it social. But take it easy, take it easy. So when it's demonstrated in individuals who binge drink, imbibing large amounts of alcohol will often be followed by a hangover the next morning. This is due to the build-up of the toxic ethanol metabolites in the liver, which over time can lead to liver damage. However, acute liver injury can be attenuated by ingesting CBD, not smoking a joint. That's not what it's saying with your glass of wine. And what this can do is help because the molecule binds to cannabinoid receptors in the liver, promoting the production of modulators that reduce the harmful effects of alcohol on liver cells. Reference. Awesome. There's also something, a compound called silymarin, which you will find in milk thistle. Get the standardized extract, high strength potency. That's going to help as well. The liver is an amazing organ, does so much, and we need to look after it. And it can self-repair if we stop the abuse and if we give it some assistance. So with pain, inflammation and muscle soreness, CBD can be utilised as both an anti-inflammatory and to reduce pain. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, recently removed CBD from a list of banned substances. Very important for athletes to know this. I am a UK Anti-Doping Agency advisor, so I know what's on the list, what's off the list, and it's very important that athletes, especially high-performing athletes, Commonwealth, British level, and especially Olympic level internationals, abide by the rules, because you can get caught out for what would seem to be innocent products. The CBD seems to have been taken off the list. The list comes out, by the way, WADA, W-A-D-A. You can Google it. Every January, a new list comes out with updates, and it varies from sport to sport and country to country, by the way. So please be vigilant, use the resources, do your homework if you are an athlete. Thereby allowing professional athletes to eschew ibuprofen, a commonly used anti-inflammatory, in favour of CBD. So get rid of the anti-inflammatories, which we know at the moment, if you do contract COVID-19, we know that the anti-inflammatories, ibuprofen and the like, are problematic, okay? So please, manage your health, by all means. If you're aching and high fever, maybe some paracetamol, but the fever is actually there to flare up your metabolism and your temperature to help kill off the virus. It's a natural defense. Please be safe. Please stay in. Many athletes turn to opioids and non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, anti-inflammatories, to reduce inflammation and pain. However, many believe that CBD is a safer alternative to common pain medications and over-the-counter drugs like ibuprofen, that when taken regularly can cause renal problems. That's your kidney issues with your anti-inflammatories. And we know it also breaks down the mucosal lining in the gut, which is protective from the very potent hydrochloric acid with a pH of 1.5. So if people are taking lots of anti-inflammatories, they can end up with gastric and duodenal ulcers. Even my son Oscar learned that last week as part of his schoolwork, and he's just turned 8. Be nice if the doctors knew that, eh? I am sweating, if you hadn't noticed. Pain from inflammation can be both acute, short-term, immediate onset, or can become a chronic use. Chronic issue, sorry. Chronic just means long-term. So I know I keep interjecting, but let's work on a bit of education. For some, many of you will know that, but chronic, people think chronic back pain, it sounds bad. The word chronic is synonymous with extreme. It's just long-term, it could just be a niggle. After the workout, muscle soreness and inflammation can lead to acute pain. Things like DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, rather than hopefully injury. CBD reduces inflammation by decreasing inflammatory cytokines, inflammatory markers, and there are lots of different types of cytokines, and cytokine storm is an issue with this COVID-19, which creates havoc throughout the immune system, causing inflammation, widespread systemic throughout the body. In theory, this should lead to faster muscle recovery and reduced muscle soreness. The anti-inflammatory, anti-oxidative and neuroprotective benefits of CBD can be appreciated within the field of sports injuries, from minor injuries such as sprains to more severe injuries such as concussion or traumatic brain injury. Animal studies indicate that CBD administration reduces short-term brain damage by improving cerebral blood flow, decreasing brain edema, water retention, and minimising seizures. Reference. As I said, I'll take a picture when I'm at the back of the references, so please look them up, have a read. We've got time on our hands, let's get educated, and especially in the field of I need a drink of water, self-help. Sleep, approximately 10% of the general population has a sleep disorder, and it's going to be more. Anxiety levels are going to be up, sleep patterns are all over the place because we do not have a set structure. We can make our own structure. We can timetable our own regime to keep our head straight. But many people will be staying up late and watching movies. I did it myself the other night, and when I woke up in the morning, I was like, Saturday, I can, catch up the next day. Where am I going? So please look after your sleep patterns. Yeah, your circadian rhythms and your melatonin output, because otherwise it throws out your cortisol, stress hormone, etc, etc, etc. Big cascade of issues there. Inadequate sleep leads to fatigue and exhaustion thereby affecting athletic performance or just our day-to-day mood and performance and health. CBD is shown to promote sleep. Several clinical trials evaluated the effects of CBD on sleep habits, but were mostly secondary endpoints to pain and inflammation. So they weren't prioritising the sleep. More studies probably need to be done on that. CBD seems to have a modulatory effect in sleep, regulating circadian rhythm, sleep-wake cycle, and promoting both REM and non-REM sleep throughout a variety of cellular interactions. So we get deep sleep, light sleep, REM sleep, different areas of recovery for our nervous system and our body and muscle and repair mechanisms. So we go in sleep cycles throughout the night. Alessandro Ferretti, awesome man, phenomenal, love seeing him speak. He's much more of an expert on this subject than me. Look him up, look his website up. So, in addition, CBD may aid in respiratory stability during sleep. I'll say that again, respiratory stability. Those of you with sleep apnea or issues around this virus with lungs and breathing. One more time. What we're looking at is helping the sleep, so we help recovery, we help our mood, but specifically we're looking at issues being improved in respiratory stability during sleep, which may help individuals with sleep apnea. And I have a number of clients who have sleep apnea. And there's 2 references for that, so please look those up, people. Additionally, research found that moderate to high dosages administered to human subjects, just the people in the studies are subject, supports the claim that CBD improves sleep. Another reference, strong references as well. So as I said, I'll put them up. I'm looking at decent references. That one's from 2004. So some of these are dating back a little bit. Therefore, CBD may assist in wakefulness, feeling fresher when you get up in the morning, and diminish fatigue by enhancing sleep patterns and total sleep time, the quality of sleep as well, not just sleep time. This would not only augment daily activities, but will also strengthen workouts, overall energy levels, and I'm going to add support the immune system, because that's what I'm really trying to put out there for much of the advice I'm giving is immune system, and optimal mental health and well-being, which I've been moving more into with some of my delivery. If you're liking this, by the way, I know I'm putting this out on everyone, but this is what I'm doing working from home. I'm happy to do the research and give it. It's yours, it's free. But should you want to help, I'm supporting my family, my 2 little boys who live respectively with their mums, I choose, not being told by anyone, no courts, no CSA, I'm a gentleman. I'm a good dad. I am supporting them. Excuse the photos. Photos? Jesus, get some water in, Clay. Yeah, struggling up into a pool with this sweat. The pictures all over the bathroom, my little Oscar, including I love you, daddy, and everything. So I have him here with me all the time. Same as Freddie, because they're both in here. This little pendant casket with money body on there. Actually bought in Krakow, so it's a solid silver, empty casket. Silver welded, shut by an amazing gentleman, Adrian Lydiard, glass tower, jewellery in Knoll, and his beautiful wife Kay. So what we're looking at in there is the hair of both Freddie and Oscar, and one of Oscar's first teeth. Freddie hasn't lost any yet, so that will go in, will be opened and put in. Those boys are next to my heart 24/7. I love you boys. I really do, and I miss you so much. Bringing me on to anxiety. Fear and anxiety, going to be rife. Are adaptive responses, as in normal behavioural patterns. But it shouldn't be happening all the time, it shouldn't be happening like it is now. Essential for coping with stress. Unfortunately, sometimes persistent fear and anxiety now can lead to maladaptive behaviour. We need to do what we can, as I said, with meditation, speaking to friends, relaxing, using CBDs we're going to get to, going for a walk, fresh air, adaptogenic herbs like rhodiola, maybe ashwagandha. I'm going to be covering those as well in a future talk. So going back to supporting, sorry, went off at a tangent, so my boys, if you'd like to make a little deposit, and by no means feel that you have to, this is free. But if you want to say a little thank you, a couple of quid to my PayPal, Cain, C-A-I-N, at gbfitness, Cain at gbfitness.com. Greatly appreciated, and it helps support me putting more of these out, okay? I think that's where my skill, experience and knowledge can be, used better. So if I can get a little bit of support, that's all I need to do is cover the basic bills. Many athletes, including professionals, experience stress or anxiety during high-pressure situations. Imagine what the Olympians are going through at the moment. The fear of contracting this disease, this virus, this nastiness. But having trained on a 4-year cycle, some of them maybe for 3 years building up, so 12 years of training to go to the Olympics, squashed, quashed, ruined. Because they do truly work to a peak. So even if it is put on later in the year, a lot of people are going to miss their window, they really are. Please hope that all of them stay safe. The performance anxiety could lead not only to poor athletic outcomes, but the anxiety may carry over to social situations. Severe stress and anxiety may even force athletes to discontinue playing the sport. This could happen. I think we're going to get athletes drop out. They're not going to be able to do good training practice, and once, that's waned, maybe they just won't come back, or they get ill and they just can't recover to their full potential. So what we're looking at, studies in animals and healthy human volunteers. It stands to reason athletes would benefit from the calming effects. Professional golfers like Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson chew CBD gum while playing. They report it boosts their cognitive function, brain function, thinking straight, thinking clear, thinking sharp, and assists with stress, inflammation and sleep. Football stars like Megan Rapinoe are endorsing CBD in that football fan, as she can't tell. I've trained quite a few: Scott Dan, Danny Fox, Michael Ricketts, Lee Marshall, Calvin Atu, Stan Collymore. I've looked after a lot of them, but it's just not my game. So they are endorsing CBD as a means of reducing pain, thereby enhancing their ability to concentrate and perform. Much of the data around the role of CBD in decreasing anxiety comes from studies examining performance and social anxiety disorder. Kind of ironic what's going on at the moment with us all isolating and separating, but social anxiety disorder. Researchers found that taking CBD prior to an anxiety-inducing activity, such as public speaking, reduced anxiety, cognitive impairment and discomfort in their speech patterns. Great one for you professional speakers out there, David Thomas, David Heiner, etc. Awesome, phenomenal speakers in their own right, brilliant gentlemen, awesome tutors for other speakers. But somebody might have great material, but if they're having anxiety issues, maybe CBD could help. So while having no negative effect on heart rate and blood pressure, reference, it is therefore not surprising that athletes are interested in CBD for stress reduction while preparing for competition. Metabolism and weight management. Going to be a lot of weight gain going on at the moment with snacking. Sat in all day, nothing to do. Not going to be good. gbfitness.com. www.gbfitness.com. Lots of free downloads, Kane's top 10 tips, Dynaband stretching, Swiss ball workouts and more to come. Free. Top of the page, look for the COVID-19, click on it, and free downloads of PDFs. If you want to say thanks, kane@gbfitness.com on PayPal. Thank you. Obesity coupled with adult onset diabetes are both risk factors for heart disease. Exercise and weight loss. I would correct that to fat loss, please. We want fat loss, not weight loss. Very important. People will be losing weight at the moment because of a lack of activity, and especially those that love to go to the gym. There's going to be some muscle loss. We have to live with that, but we want to achieve fat loss for health, not weight loss. Just a pet peeve of mine. Are beneficial for decreasing heart disease and other issues around hyperlipidemia, hypertension. So high cholesterol, high blood pressure. One of the reported effects, sorry, I'm sweating. Not nice, sorry. It is clean, I'm in the bath. One of the reported effects of moderate to high dosages of CBD are changes in appetite and weight loss, fat loss. In fact, chronic administration, long-term, not massive amounts long-term, of CBD reduced weight gain in rats when they were being stimulated to gain weight. They lowered the activity, overfed them, and they still achieved weight loss, which should be fat loss. And we've got references there. CBD medication in the UK, pediatric seizure disorder, 16%, so it goes quite technical there. Patients in a small study took 100 mg of CBD for 13 weeks, demonstrated decreased levels of resistin, which is a hormone associated with obesity, and insulin resistance. So insulin resistance means that the uptake of glucose from the blood through the GLUT4 receptor to convert to store glycogen with glycogen synthase. Insulin resistance is going to cause an issue with that. So it's not a lack of insulin. The insulin isn't working well to transport nutrients, specifically carbohydrates, specifically monosaccharides, glucose, into muscle tissue, because fructose can't be stored efficiently in muscle tissue. It can be stored in the liver, but when that's full, it converts to fat, so we end up with the phenomenon known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It's estimated that 30–35% of people are already getting that, and it's going to be worse. If we are going through this for the next few months, please reduce your sugars. Please, please, please reduce your sugars and increase your exercise, because that increases GLUT4 receptor affinity. In plain English, you will get blood clearance of glucose much more effectively. We should all be doing that, but especially if you are diabetic or overweight, etc. Two types of fat tissue, white and beige, or brown fat as we've called it. Resistance indicates that boosting the beige coloured fat in animals, predominantly found between the shoulder blades. This stimulates the white fat around the body to accelerate its conversion through into ATP, proton energy. So research indicates that boosting beige coloured fat in animals improves glucose tolerance, thereby increasing resistance to diabetes and various blood lipid abnormalities, high cholesterol and triglycerides, which are the fat particles in blood. Interestingly, it seems that CBD may play a role in converting pre-adipocytes, which are immature fat cells, not fully formed. The adipocytes are how we store fat, the actual fat chamber, subcutaneous, under our skin, intra-organ, etc. From white coloured fat tissue to beige coloured fat tissue, which will be important in mitigating diabetes. Overall, it seems that research indicates that CBD may be useful in combating hyperlipidemia and hypertension. Again, high cholesterol. It's not getting the issue of cholesterol. Again, a pet hate of mine is this bad cholesterol, and cholesterol over 5 is a problem. We need these lipoprotein and carrier cholesterols. They are essential for nutrient uptake, especially your fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E and K. They're essential fats, omega-3 and omega-6, and also useful oleic acid, omega-9. Cell structure, repair, hormone, sex hormone production. What is it that makes your testosterone, E1, E2, E3, estrogens, estriol, estradiol and estrone, progesterone, etc., etc. You know what makes it? This evil that we call cholesterol. It's a nonsense. Well, it's not a complete nonsense. Damaged, oxidized cholesterol, etc. is a repair molecule, and if we over-repair, we can end up with issues with atherosclerosis. What's causing the damage? Why are we getting the damage that we need to repair? Let's address that. Maybe that's another talk if you want it. Let me know. PayPal, kane@gbfitness.com. If you're enjoying this, a couple of quid would really help. Okay, overall it seems that research indicates CBD may be useful in combating hyperlipidemia and hypertension, promoting weight loss and lowering hyperglycemia, elevated blood sugar levels. Cut the sugars, increase the activity, all of which would improve or prevent heart disease. So let's whiz through and summarise and wrap up, because I really do need to mop my face and get some water. Muscle soreness due to inflammation post-exercise can be mitigated, offset, dampened by CBD. CBD may improve performance and enhance muscle recovery in individuals from recreational gym bunnies to Olympians. With active and healthy lifestyles, we need to keep that up at the moment, peeps. Please keep up a healthy lifestyle. Let me help you do that. Currently, however, recommending CBD for athletic performance is difficult because more data needs to be derived from clinical trials. We need to be careful with the athletes. Like I said, I'm a UK AD advisor and you need to be careful. My athletes, this could be their lifelong career. In fact, it is their profession, their career that pays their bills, which they won't be able to do at the moment. Because they're not paid like footballers, trust me. The scientific community is still trying to determine appropriate CBD dosages, so look at the percentage and look how many drops, find what works for you. I take double the recommended of that 15%, but I'm 6'3", I'm quite a big guy, so it's, size dependent, what you're using it for, your history of use, etc. The affinity within the brain, which I said, we can do DNA test, DNA mine from Nordic Labs, and it can show how effective you are at utilising lots of different nutrients. So pre and post workout symptom relief. In addition, no studies exist that evaluate CBD in direct comparison to traditional anti-inflammatory drugs such as ibuprofen. So that needs to be done if we're going to say it works better without side effects. Testing and manufacturing, as well as a lack of regulatory oversight, has led to a number of investigations on product safety in the retail market. What we're looking at is the THC level needs to be within legislation and law. And in fact, the one that I showed you, they do a much, much lower THC for those that are sensitive to THC or are worried about it being detected for their job, sport, etc. So play safe if you're advising or buying for yourself. Know what you're doing or get professional advice. So we've got 11 of the 29, so that's 38% of the products tested were within 10% of the advertised CBD content. 11 products, which are 38%, actually had less than 50% of the advertised. Less than 50% of the advertised. That is horrendous, 38% of products. I only work with reputable brands, be it vitamins, minerals, oils, protein, CBD, whatever. Please, hire a professional, get good kit. And some of them had much higher measurable levels of THC, and we need to be very careful of that because that is illegal. That's the stuff that you're getting a little bit woohoo high on. Okay, so be safe, stay in, hire a professional, buy quality. And then he goes into a bit about his lab, etc., etc. So, it's interesting, and we're looking at what's called the terpenes found in the plant may themselves have a therapeutic value. So I use what's called the raw product in the actual oil from the plant. This company does have it suspended in lots of different oils, including olive oil and plant oils. I want the raw, taste a bit harsher if you like, but like pure olive oil, we know there's goodness within the olive oil, but the more natural it is, unfiltered, cold pressed in a glass bottle like I have downstairs, we retain that goodness. When you start straining it, when you start filtering it, we remove some of these. So that what's called the terpenes, which are in this product, are in higher concentration and they are legal and beneficial to health. So hopefully that was kind of interesting. Hopefully you might find that that is something you might want to consider in your current regime. If you haven't seen, please watch the video that I did live, but you can watch it back on my page, Kane Leatham. You'll see there's a big screen, projection screen behind me. And I'm talking about the immune system boosters and specific levels of nutrients. They're not an individualized plan. Please ideally work with a professional, but in these current times, I'm going out of the scope of what I normally say I do because I want to help. But if you want my help, I am here. I'm self-isolating indoors, hence the long bath, doing some exercise, eating well, tutoring and looking after my children, and hopefully paying bills. So I'll wrap up. If you've liked this little chat, if you want more, let me know what you want me to talk about. It won't always be from the bath. I do apologise, but I thought might get some attention, might get some views. Let me know what you want, and if you want to say a little thank you, PayPal is kane@